I did make some strategic mistakes when I was building this. This is a ribbon that is extremely complex. There's so many ways to make errors, and I made most of them. Uh, my first strategic mistake was I made it too large. I started with the three bowls, as you saw in the video. The bowls were too large to fit in my cold jaws. I had to buy the cold jaw extension. That's one problem that was solvable with the purchase of the extension. But the other is this is the first ribbon I have done. I shouldn't have picked something so complex with so many um, chances for error. I should have picked something simpler. Um, when I cut the staves, I had to be constantly alternating and flipping them around and then inserting these splines. Uh, so many sources of error. So those are the two strategic mistakes I made: too big and too complicated. Uh, when you make a ribbon, I hope you avoid those for your first one anyway. But I love the way it came out. I'm just going to talk about glue up errors. You could have be missing the spline. You could have a piece, one of the staves be upside down so it doesn't curve. You could have the spline not be properly placed or even up a little bit so that you have a gap. You could have the pieces misaligned. And the final error of glue up, which I'm going to show one, is you could mix up the pieces and get them in the wrong sequence. This is supposed to be the black keys next to each other. This is the two keys, and then there'll be a white key on either side. So I am going to show how to fix this error. So I'm going to try to cut right through the spline without cutting into either side. If I get a little bit of the other ones, it won't be the end of the world because this is the white piece, so I can disc sand it, and I'm going to have to disc sand it anyway. So I'll show the cut. So you can see I made the cut right through the middle, and the only place I got anything even close to the stave is right there on the end, which that'll get turned away and at the end anyway. So the next step is I'll run to the disc sander. I won't show it, but I'll disc sand them at the angle so that I get that off, and then I can glue it together the right way with a spline in there. Bolt 3 had a problem. I actually had to make a second one. The first one's a throwaway, at least for this project. This one was a good fit right up to disc sanding, and the same with the throwaway. So I'm assuming I'm doing something wrong when I'm disc sanding and they end up out of round. To fix it, I have put in a straight insert um, on both sides to make the diameter in this direction be the same as that direction. This now has a diameter that's a little bigger than the other two, but it won't be because I am going to cut, say, right here on both sides and then try to sand away some excess to make it look right. I mean, this one will look okay if it's a little bit wider than it is. Um, but that's what I'm going to try to do. If that doesn't work, I have to make a third number 3 bowl. So I'm giving it a try. Okay, so this is bowl number 3, where I'm going to try to leave this piece. I'm going to add a little bit um, to this key since I sanded away a little too much. Um, So I am going to cut down the center line on both sides and then sand away the excess to the line. So I've got lines inside and out for reference so that I can keep an eye on the line and make sure I'm sanding to the line. Okay, I have two half bowls now that fit together quite well and have the right proportions. It also confirmed what I suspected, that as I disc sand, because the outside is further away, further out on the disc, it was taking more material off the wider end. So I had to move in and actually sand just this surface to stay on the line.